2001, I think, we came to Chicago. Basically, there was a kind of a weird period with my band, Frames, where we had been going for a few years, and things had kind of, we had done all the usual things a band does. Like, we had made our first record, struggled with that a bit. Made our second record, struggled with that. Toured England, toured Europe, didn't really work out. Came to America a couple of times, but only ever really got as far as New York. Because as an Irish band, you get as far as New York. A bit like the Irish Immigrants, actually. We got as far as New York. Loved it. Stayed there, played a few gigs, and came home. We had a friend. I remember getting our first fan letter from America, and I was like, oh my god, it's like, to the Frames and an American envelope, and it was from a friend, this guy Zoran Orlik in Chicago. And it was the first bit of fan mail we ever got, and it was from Chicago. And I was like, I read this mail and I sort of wrote it back, because when you get a bit of fan mail and no one knows who you are, you become friends with everybody who knows you. I made this point last night. At one point, up to very recently, we knew everybody who were audience personally. It seems like very recently something has kind of shifted. But I remember Zoran said, "Come over. If you ever want to come to Chicago, your band, we can put on a gig." And we couldn't afford as a whole band to travel all the way to Chicago, so I came along and I played in Gun for Murphy's on that night. And I remember I got an opening slot for Francis Black, I think it was, were you at that? Oh, thank you. Good to see you here. Doing something right. So we opened up for Francis Black in the Abbey pub, and it was. And the reason I'm going to say all this is that Chicago sort of became the place where my band got reborn, or something happened. Sometimes you're doing something and you'll have just a little tiny bit of success in one other country, one other town, and you just keep going back there. And I have to say that from that tiny spot, like, I know that once and everything else, but actually from that tiny spot, all of this has kind of accumulated into something else, and now that it's like wherever we go. Put it straight, Chicago is a fucking great town. I stood here, and this is the kind of thing you do in your last gig ever. I want to thank all my friends. Everybody who's helped us along knows who they are, and they're all fucking great. I don't want to talk about that. It's terrifying. Although my mother talks about nothing else right now. Right, so the reason I wanted to say, actually the last time we were in Chicago, we played in the Hideout Block Party. I think maybe a month before that, myself and Marquetta played in the Old Town School of Folk. We had such an amazing time, and afterwards we got an email to our website, and it just said, I'd like to give you a guitar, and we didn't really know what it meant. And I got an email from this lady, Mary Beth, and it was amazing. I just want to say thank you to her, because it was an amazing thing to do. Her husband had passed a few years ago, and she'd emailed me to say, I've seen you play your guitar, and I noticed that it was quite, fucked up. And, my husband left a few guitars, and I'd like to invite you over to the house and have some tea, and if you want to play some guitars, and if I need to speak to you, you can take one home with you. And I went over to her house the time we were here for the block party, and we hung out, and it was a beautiful afternoon, and she made tea, and it was just, one of those really special, and I had a special Chicago, again, one of those things where you're like, this fucking town is brilliant. So I just want to say thank you, Mary Beth. I don't know if you're here tonight, but I hope you are, and if you are, okay, great, excellent. Thank you again. I'm going to play this song, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm just saying thank you. This song is a whole other ballgame. So, this song is called Leave.